I'm in the kitchen this weekend preparing the holiday feast. Whether you're making food for a large family or small, it's great to get things going a few days in advance. That way you can enjoy the process instead of feeling stressed. Follow along with me as we make this from scratch crock pot herb stuffing. We're going to make the bread by mixing 1 1/4 cups of hot water with 1 tablespoon of skim milk powder, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 2 tablespoons of butter. Mix to dissolve and melt the butter. In a small bowl, add 1/2 cup of warm water and 1 teaspoon of sugar. Sprinkle over 2 1/4 teaspoons of dry active yeast. This will start to be foamy in about 5 minutes. Add the yeast mixture into your bowl. Add in all your stuffing herbs. I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, a tablespoon of dried rosemary, 1 1/2 tablespoons of sage, 1 tablespoon of thyme, and 1 tablespoon of parsley. Add in 2 1/2 cups of flour and mix. Add the remaining 2 cups of flour as well as your dried fruit. I'm using a 1/2 cup of raisins and a 1/4 cup of dried cranberries. Knead for 5 minutes. Cover and let rise in a warm place for about 1 hour or until doubled in bulk. On a floured surface, tip out your dough. Split into 3 equal pieces. Flatten each piece out and fold the dough over onto itself in thirds. Then roll and tighten it into a small log, pushing it closed with your fingers. Cover and let rest 15 minutes. This will let the gluten relax and will be easier to shape. Roll each log out into baguette shape. Place them onto a baking sheet separated so they keep their shape and don't stick to each other. I'm using silicone mats to do this. Cut 3 slits into the top of each baguette. Cover and let rise until doubled, about an hour. Bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes, then reduce the heat to 350 and bake for 25 minutes more, or until golden and sounds hollow when you tap on them. When they have cooled enough to handle, cut the loaves into slices and lay them out onto a cookie sheet. I left mine out for 1 day. The next day, I broke the slices up into chunks and let them dry for 1 more day. Now it's the day of the holiday feast and time to get them into the crock pot. To start the stuffing, chop 8 ribs of celery and a 1/2 onion. Add them to a large pan with butter or oil on medium-high heat. Cook until they are browned and soft. Then add them to the crock pot full of your chunks of stuffing bread. To a medium bowl, add 2 eggs and about 3 cups of broth. Beat together and then pour into the crock pot and mix everything together. Cover, and depending on the time left until dinner, turn your crock pot on to 4 or 6 hours. Stir the stuffing every 45 minutes or so to make sure everything is mixed evenly and to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom. If you think it's getting too dry, add more stock. If the stuffing seems too wet, you can take the lid off the crock pot near the end of the cooking process. Serve warm on the side of your holiday feast. Enjoy!